Okay, what we're going to do here is going to do a little sanding. Got the pieces for the carcass cut up and potatoes cut in them and everything sized and test fitted. And after the shaper repair yesterday, and finally got that all straightened out and the rest of the pieces cut. Anyway, going to sand this stuff down and get ready to put some stain on it. I'm going to put some stain on this stuff before I put it together this time. That way it'll keep me from trying to get inside the cabinet. And always do a better job when you stain it before you assemble it than you do after. Or I do anyhow. But I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. I'm not going to show a whole lot of video on this. I mean, watching somebody sand a piece of wood is about exciting as watching grass grow. So anyway, I just wanted to document it here. I had a fellow asked me for that, each process he wanted to see just a little bit on. I said, sure, no problem. So anyway, got this over here on the sanding station. I got a little downdraft table hooked into my dust collection system, and then of course I got some dust collection on the sander so it don't fog around all over the shop. But I'll run here a little bit and sand this and see what happens. Oh boy, I was about to do it again there. About to forget a step in this video thing right here. Just wiping on some stain for the inside. I did decide that I would stain the inside of the cabinet before I actually put it together. So just to stain in the inside of the boards here now, and we'll let that dry. I'll go ahead and assemble it and then do the outside. It does make it a lot easier to stain it when you do it before the glue up, before the assembly. Sometimes there's some pitfalls to it, but not always. And there won't be any with this. So this is a golden oak stain. Of course, it's on red oak, but it's going to look really nice, and it's going to match the client's cabinets, existing cabinets that's already there in the house. So it's going to look really, really good, I think. I normally spray my stain, and I probably will spray the outside of this cabinet. But these few pieces here, and then it's going to be on the interior. You're not going to be able to see it that well, and there's not much of it, so I'll go ahead and rub it on here. covered well. Got one more piece and then we'll have the interior of this thing stained. All right, we got half of the back of this thing glued up. We've got the carcass glued up here. Just want to take a minute and show you what was going on here in the assembly of this thing. If you remember, we put a post in it here to add the strength, support the weight of that aquarium. I've got it stapled around here at the post. I cut the sides of these down so the back would lay flat with the rest of the carcass, which is the inset, so the back will be completely flat. And you won't see the edges of it, you know, from the sides. So the next piece will go in here. I got this one glued up on this glue that staples would be too long to drive them into the post here. So I've got, of course, I've got the whole assembly, the whole back glued to the assembly. But down this post right here, I've got a little extra glue, and I've got it clamped up here till it dries because it's too small to put staples in. Anyway, the glue dries, then we'll add the other half of this thing, and then we'll have the carcass in the back completed. We can then turn it over and bore some pocket holes, and we'll certainly go through that. We'll put some pocket holes in here to hold the face frame on to make it good and strong. So we get this dry, and we add the other half, and we'll get started on the face frame. All right, now we're far enough along here that we can put some pocket holes in this carcass. This face frame, sometimes we put them on with pocket holes, sometimes they use biscuits. It all depends on what kind of cabinet it is, where it's going, and will you be able to see the fasteners. On this particular cabinet here for the aquarium, on the top and the bottom, you won't be able to see any fasteners. The top of the carcass, let me show you right here if we, the top of the carcass will have another board on it. It'll be the actual top. This is just the top of the carcass. So when this is finished cabinet, this top will be 1.5 inches thick. It'll be a little bit bigger on the front and the sides of the carcass, so we can have a little overhang. That way we'll be able to put a profile on it and then some molding underneath of it. And then of course we'll have that extra strength. It'll be 1.5 inches thick. It'll be glued and screwed together. And then also, if you remember, we put the post in the back, and we need some support on the front side. So when I put the face frame together, and it's got the center post right here, and it's glued and screwed together, and so it'll actually have, it sets on the rail. The stile comes up and under the rail, and it does the same thing down there, so it's supported from the top to the bottom. So anyhow, to make it even more rigid and strong, we'll cover the carcass with glue, and we'll pocket hold that face frame on there. So when we put them on the top and the bottom, you won't be able to see any pocket hole screws because they'll be hid. I'm going to put some on the sides, and I'm going to do the best I can to hide those, get them as much hid as we can. But I've got some plugs. I've got pocket hole screw plugs. I'll be able to insert in them and stain them. They certainly don't disappear, and they are going to be cross-grained to this plywood face here. So you'll be able to see them, but they will be on the inside. And I talked it over with the customer, and he said that was great. There was no problem. He wanted the extra strength with it, so that's how we'll do that. What we're going to use here, this is a Craig jig. And I don't want to get a commercial for anybody, but the thing works great. You know, I don't know, I guess you saw when I done the pocket holes for the face frames, I used my Porter cable jig. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but I've got it mounted up and it works great. This Craig, in some ways, is actually better for me. I'm not going to say it's a better tool, not a tool review, but in some ways this works better, and in some ways the other one does. But anyhow, this is part of a larger jig that I used for a long time before I got the Porter cable, and it also come with the extra pieces where you can take it off the table and use it, you know, anywhere else. So we've got it set up here for 3/4 stuff, and we're going to put it on here, and this is how we'll put our pocket hole screws in the carcass. All right, now we got our pocket hole jig set here, and got the clamps on. I'm sure most people probably saw this. I won't go into a lot of detail, but this thing works really great. You put it down on your board and you clamp it down on there, and then you're able to cut your pocket holes the same each and every time. So I'm going to put about 4 or 5 across here. I want really good, some really good holding power across here. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2. I might put about 5 across here or something. And of course, you know, it comes with a drill bit, and you set your stop for these Craigs, and you're ready to put pocket holes in it. Okay, let's see if I can get over here maybe where we can see those a little better. And I put 5 in it. I didn't measure them off. It's not that important. But this one was pretty important. This one is right here in the center where the post is, and the face frame will come up here. This vertical style here in the middle will come out to right here. So we got a good connection here. So I'll turn this over and I'll do the bottom, and I'll put some in the sides, and we'll be ready to put the face frame on this thing. All right, we're going to go ahead and spread some glues here, I think, and glue this face frame on, screw it in so it can be dry. Dampened rag here, have a little squeeze out. Hoo. Go. Now we'll get around here. Clamp it right here. A little extra space on the screw. Make sure we got it really good. On. Right. Now, let that face frame sit there and the glue dry while it's clamped up right there. And I'll go get me some lunch. When I get back, we ought to be able to take the clamps off of it. Set it up here and trim the edges. I will flush trim all the edges with the router. Make sure it's good and slick and smooth. Of course, it won't matter the top and the bottom. Naturally, you won't see those. You won't see those, but the sides, I left me just maybe a 30-second overhang or something, just that much, on both sides. So we'll trim the sides, and I'll trim the top and the bottom and these edges. So we get a perfect fit on our face frame. It's like a pro job.